Hey, folks, we are back now. I know what you're thinking. He has the calm voice. Is this another anniversary conversation? No, this is not an anniversary conversation. This is, however, a return of the Ruthless Wonder, not a Ruthless Wonder, back to the Wrath of Ruthless. That's right, folks. I'm back. I have been rested. I am far beyond tanned, but we are ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a interesting day we find ourselves in. Now, you all are listening to this slash watching this on a Monday. I am recording this on a Thursday, which means we are literally going to miss the entirety of this week's new releases, which is an interesting situation to find ourselves in. So, in order to make sure we have an interesting conversation for this Wrath of Ruthless portion of the show, I wanted to get somebody who could talk these interesting subjects at a level I felt was necessary for you people who are somehow coming to me for movie knowledge. I don't know why that happens, but for some reason, every once in a while, you guys pay attention to us on Stream Life. So, first up, before we even get going in anything else, today we are not flying solo the whole way, only for the second half with Give No Quarter. And so I bring to you the man, the myth, the legend. You loved him in his first appearance. You watch his podcast, Monkey with a Podcast. Julien, how you doing, man?
What's up? Thanks for the baller introduction as usual. I'm psyched to be here and talk about movie stuff.
Well, yeah. Now, I of course slightly surprised Julien. As you folks know, even when I had co-hosts, sometimes we would surprise them with stories. So we're gonna get into some interesting movie talk. Cause why have this man here and not get to talk the thing he does? But we're also gonna talk about some other interesting stuff that's come up. In fact, we're gonna go right into his surprise segment for this particular week. Up next. Now, I want to preface this. You guys, of course, saw the episode where Julien appeared, and we talked about the crack.com video. You guys got to watch it. He had already watched it beforehand that time, but, we don't give everybody such nice ways of pulling things off. We're going to get his off the cuff remarks on a different one of the same series of videos. Again, check out People Watching. It's by crack.com. They are great folks. They make some really good stuff. And like I said, I want to kind of give credit where credit is due here on this particular series. I think it's brought a lot of people to a different thought on how they look at modern relationships, and you all really enjoyed our discussion on it. So, Julien, you ready?
Born ready.
All right, we're going to check out their very first one here, and let's get this queued up so everybody can see. Uh, and we'll check it out. This one is about depression in dating, of all things. So this will be really kind of interesting to check out here. All right.
This is going to be awesome.
I know. Not only did I find a non-crazy guy on a dating site, but you're actually real as well.
Well, you should still
Scan your entire Twitter history for problematic bullshit and then Google your name in quotes along with things like court date and multiple wives and triple. Yep, way ahead of you. 0 hits, by the way.
right on. So I'll see you tonight. Really looking forward to it.
Me too. I can't wait.
Who is that?
Oh, you can switch out the meat in any of the burgers for vegetarian things. I love that about this city. Sorry, I'm just pretending to find the menu super interesting
Instead of capitulating to awkward silence. Oh, I know. Wow, they list the calories of everything.
Wow, 750 calories in a mushroom. Who would have thought? Yeah, sorry. This is why the first line of my dating profile was like, "Hi, I have terrible problems." Just getting that one out in front.
Oh, did you ever read that John Ronson book about shame?
Yes! Oh my god, it's like, yeah, just own it. People don't care what you did. They just want to be superior to someone, so don't play into it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to imply you have anything to be ashamed of, though.
Oh, I do. Dude, I was in a nerdcore band for like a year once, literally rapping in a fake English accent because the entire point of it was 3 people who were too afraid to be authentic. I'm like maths when the shit goes on. I divide the squares, then I'm octagon.
Okay, that is hilarious. voice.
No, it really isn't. It's just one of those abandoned projects on the way to finding your voice. And this is not my voice.
Well, whatever. This is already 10,000 times better than the last date I went on.
Yeah, I just tend to assume I'm 100 times worse than everyone else. It's kind of a depression anxiety thing, I guess. One word. You're not getting one without the other. I don't know why there are two separate words now that I think about it, but I'm always thinking about it. Please interrupt me.
I totally get it. Like, I've known people, I've had my moments. It's just hard to conceptualize what it's like for someone who has it worse. But I want to try at least.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't know. There needs to be some kind of catch-all term for the whole anxiety, doubt, fear, self-hatred, self-sabotage ball of wax. Yikes, ball of wax. There's the hot new lingo of 1920. Boomers, am I right? Anyway, yeah, when you're talking depression, it's just the whole thing of not feeling like there's a point to doing anything because you're so shitty, or the world is so shitty, and you can't stop telling yourself that, even though you know it's not true. It's not true, like it's not, but you just want to believe for whatever reason.
It's not true. All night you've been apologizing for, like, standard things.
I know! Obligatory line where I apologize for apologizing. You can at least somewhat take it as a compliment in that I'm so afraid of losing this and I'm generally anxious around you, and then I'll eventually let myself be comfortable around you in like 3 years.
I can wait. I mean, I can't wait. I mean, you know what I mean.
Thanks.
Hey, there are whole countries like that, you know? I read in a guidebook about Denmark once. They're all like an old ketchup bottle. At first, nothing comes out, and then eventually all of it comes out all at once. So, yeah, ketchup.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's kind of me for sure. Except no one's willing to keep shaking the bottle. I love metaphors, actually. Like with depression, there are a lot of comic strips I could send you that one thing where depression's like a broken hand that people keep telling you to just get over.
Yeah, I've seen that, I think. Oh, just man up. Because that's a thing.
Oh, I know. I actually have my own metaphor for it, though. It's like this thing where... did you ever watch that show, The X-Files?
Oh, yeah, back in the day for sure.
I actually didn't, but yeah, back in the olden times of actually using your TV back in 1920, I did that thing where you randomly watch a show you've never seen, and then like 2 years later, you randomly decide to watch it again, and you change the channel, and it's
the exact same episode?
Yes! Oh my god! So yeah, I've literally seen one episode twice, but it's the one where X-Files and Lady X-Files are trapped in this big fungus thing. And it makes them hallucinate, and they can't tell if they're awake or dreaming, and it keeps tricking them into thinking they've escaped, but they're still trapped. And that's kind of the basis for my depression metaphor. It's this thing where you keep slipping into another reality, and you don't notice, and then it's too late.
Oh, okay, so, like, you're telling yourself you suck, even though you know you don't. And even though you know it's not your real voice saying that.
Yeah, it's like... It's not like you're trapped in a fungus, though. It's like you're sitting in your living room and you're talking to someone about your problems, and they're just laying into you about how shitty you are. How you might as well not even bother dating because you're just going to be wasting everyone's time. And you're kind of nodding along, and then you look up and you realize you've been talking to, like, depression guy. You were just sitting there reading, and this horrible dude snuck in your front door, sat down, and started saying shit to you, and it took you, like, 2 days to notice, and now it's too late, and you'll be sad for weeks. Weeks if you're lucky. Sad if you're lucky.
Depression guy. I'm just picturing like the stereotypical mustache villain who ties people to train tracks.
Yeah, exactly. Except he's dressed more subtly, like he belongs there. He's camouflage, he's all articulate too. He's like hipster mustache villain. The modern version. He blends in so you don't see it coming, but then he suddenly annihilates your self-esteem before you can remember that this keeps happening. That's kind of how I see it anyway. I swear to God, I have to think of depression as this outside entity that tricks you into forgetting reality, because intellectually, I do know that I'm all right, that I'm good and kind to everyone, that the number one symptom of being a bad person is not worrying about how good of a person you are. There's just this total asshole that keeps sneaking in and ruining your life, and you're trapped. And then suddenly, it's been a week since I left the house, and the cycle continues.
Yeah, it's some X-Files stuff for sure, right? Oh, what was your rapper name, by the way?
God. Lady Anna Trump.
Right on, right on.
You see? Shane-tastic.
It does help me understand, though, actually, the whole depression guy thing.
Does it? Come upstairs. Innocently, not suggestively. I don't nothing on my very first date. Now you're Denise.
Is that supposed to be I don't do nothing?
I don't do nothing. Does my psychotic metaphor actually make sense? Hi, I habitually lose touch with reality. Pretty good date, huh?
Yeah, for sure it makes sense. I think this date was pretty great. If it rhymes, it must be true.
All right, thanks.
Like I said, when the server shows up and you both forgot to decide what to order, that's like the best possible sign, right?
Yeah, I think maybe it was a good date, actually.
Well, in retrospect, it wasn't a perfect date. You did kind of overshare a lot, actually.
Oh, God, I did, didn't I? I'm sorry. I don't know.
Sometimes people are just kind of politely humoring you. I know it seemed like everything was fine at the restaurant, but if you really go over all the stuff you said,
I was at least semi-articulate, though, wasn't I? I really tried to explain the whole depression thing and not be all ashamed.
there are different kinds of depression too, though, right?
Oh, my God, yeah. I was just trying to kind of conceptualize my own situation. But yeah, some people just have terrible chemical things that cause it, or they have issues stemming from childhood.
Well, exactly. That's why metaphors are so juvenile. Whatever your good intentions, people are going to assume you're speaking for everyone.
Oh, no. You're right.
What's the difference between omission and ignorance? People these days tend to search for easy answers, convenient little blurbs that can explain huge, complex issues, and you're just doing that.
Yeah.
You should have put something like that in your dating profile. How you're really kind of self-absorbed and naive. How you're really immature and whoever dates you is going to have to put up with a lot. And then you have to ask yourself, if your dating profile requires so many disclaimers at the front of it,
Then there's probably not much point in having one.
because you'd just be wasting somebody's time. Other people aren't like you. They're more mature and centered and a lot happier. And you can't just show up with all your issues and expect them to tolerate you.
Yeah.
There's a certain level you have to get to before you're entitled to love and mutual support, right?
I can imagine it, though. I just went on a date that went pretty well. That was me. I can do it. I believe I can do it.
That was like a week ago. He actually texted half a dozen times before he gave up. That must be a new record.
I told him about you, you know. He wasn't bothered. You assume you know how people will react, but you're never right. You're just...
You assume they're telling you the truth, though. Generally, only the insults are people telling you how they really feel.
I remember it, though. That was me. Just like I can always imagine the worst when I'm doing all right, I can at least picture the best when I'm severely depressed. Hey, it rhymes at least.
Barely.
Well, I at least want to believe.
That was cool.
Right?
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of the other video we watched.
It's from the same people.
Oh, for sure.
And what
Hey, I'm Hannon,
Oh,
and I play
she's still
Sapphire on
going.
the show People Watching. And if you like that episode, come check out facebook.com/subnormality, where you can find more of our stuff.
Just to make sure they don't
Thanks.
actually hit us with a content strike. No, but they're doing a whole series. They've actually got a bunch of them there that are really good. I always find I cracked every once in a while will run across something great, and I always want to get people's reaction to it, and for people to see it. What were your thoughts though, man? What'd you think?
I don't know. It's one of those weird videos. Like at first, like I thought it was like in good spirit. Oh, I'm getting a bit of an echo.
It's not coming through here.
But I thought, huh?
There's no echo coming on this end.
Okay. I was hearing myself, but okay. If you say it's good, it's good. I mean, at first, like I thought it was in pretty good spirits, but like by the end of it, I think it kind of gets like a little bit mean spirited. But like I think it works in a positive way, just because they explain that at first. But yeah, I think that video it had a lot. I mean, they said a lot in the video, so it's hard to just sum it up in one sentence. But I agree with it for the most part. I like the metaphors in there and what they said about metaphors, because I also like metaphors. I don't know. It's something I kind of got to think about it for a second.
Yeah, that that's one of the I think the benefits to having places like YouTube, obviously with tons of content going on all the time, but you find those little nuggets of awesome that you gotta go back to and oddly make you think about stuff. I, I always wonder, especially from perspective of tackling important issues with humor like that. You know, are the right people seeing it? If I guess the best way to put it, you know, because you don't expect that kind of heavy content out of crack.com of all places, you know?
No, not at all. Crack.com, honestly, like when I think crack.com, it's like articles that are so weird. I go, is this fake? Like, I feel like this is fake.
Or lists, really good lists.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of lists that I also look at and think, is this real? Did someone actually put this together?
Oh man. See, that's the thing. It's like when I ran across the series, it was so refreshing. Cause it's like, Cracked is doing this? Hold on. And so of course I had you guys react to that very first one, and then they just kept going, and I think they're up to 5 or 7 now, and they're all really good.
Yeah, it gives off that Adult Swim vibe, but at the same time, it's very grounded and it's not nearly as surreal, and it's very, very careful with its surrealness.
Absolutely, absolutely. I would love to. I mean, I couldn't put myself in the position to write this yet. I don't think I've got the mind for a short just yet. But like I would love to see more like this. Like it was a good way to use animation to lighten it up. I guess the best way to put it. Like that
Yeah,
could have been really
it,
really heavy.
yeah, it. I mean, it is pretty heavy. Like by the end of it, I was like, wow. Like if you don't, if like a kid sees this or something, like they could end up very confused or something. Like this is something for someone who has their head on their shoulders, right? Because this
Yeah,
could really throw someone off, I think, or make them even upset.
yeah. But I like that it challenges you.
Yeah.
Like I'm daring you to watch all of this. I'm daring you to pay attention through the really cool colors and honestly an art style I really kind of like. Um, I wasn't like it was. I went back to watch their kind of pilot short where it was the different people you meet on every block. And I was like, I don't know if I really like this art style or not. And by the time I got to the third video, this one, it was like, no, I like this. I like the look of this. I want to see more that looks like this.
It's kind of like, in a way, that anti-art for me because, like, at first I was kind of really stale on the style. I was like, all right, I get it. Everybody is a hipster these days. Like they all had like trendy something or
Yeah,
another covered in tattoos. But they take it to a point where like it all makes sense why they're doing that. Like they're really trying to hammer in that it's about like that angle of the culture.
yeah. That it really
Like what they said about the mustachioed guy, like
yeah.
I really liked that.
It was almost as if it was like, all right, well, this is an interesting aesthetic, but you guys are really kind of being hipsters about it. Like, no, 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 we're purposely being hipsters about this. Like, here's why. Like, I like that. That was great about that for me. But you know, series like that, and then of course some of the movies we have coming up are really kind of getting into that. Show you, uh, show you what you want as far as look is concerned, but hit you with a bit more heavy content this year. Obviously, we kind of had that out of I would say the two biggest pictures. Well, actually, I take that back. The three biggest pictures of the year for 2016: Hell or High Water, Moonlight, and La La Land. Like you had that. All right, this is pretty colors, or this is like extremely art house style in Hell or High Water and Moonlight's case. Like we're gonna give you that, but we're also gonna hit you with some content that's gonna make you think days and weeks later. Uh, and
I would even throw in the mix there. I don't know if you saw it, but I recently watched it. It definitely wasn't nominated, but it totally deserved it. I'd throw what's it called in there? Swiss Army Man.
yeah, because I think that
Uh,
people
have
think
you
of
seen
the
it though?
premise.
Because
I
if you've
did.
seen it,
It's been
that
a minute,
should
but I did.
okay. So that makes sense.
It's one of those things where people think when they hear, all right, the movie has like a dead body that farts, like they're immediately going, oh, it's a comedy. But there's a lot of layers to that film.
It's one of it, if I hadn't seen La La Land, I would say that that was probably the deepest movie like I've seen all year or late 2016. It's up there with La La Land.
Yeah, I'll give it that.
Like it's one of those movies like I love when a movie has something to say, and especially when like they show you everything and then they really show you their hand at the end cuz like that movie hits you in a way that is not expected. Like it's almost a twist, but it's not a twist, and then there's an even bigger actual twist at the end of the movie. It's That movie is a wild ride, and it has way more to say about relationships than you would expect.
Again, it's a situation where you're disarmed so that you're more receptive to what's coming.
Mhm.
Like I said, it's the same thing I think of when I look at these shorts each time. It's like they're doing these they're doing these colors, they're doing some of these uh kind of weird, funky, subculture moments inside these, just to make sure I'm disarmed enough to hear what they're really trying to say, and
Mhm.
and I like it. Like I. I don't care how bad that makes me sound. I really like it. Every once in a while, you just need someone to be like, "Hey, this is going to be a little funny so that we can tell you something important." That so that's an old school thing to me that I enjoy still. Um, but I want to kind of get us out of the shorts and into uh, the year real quick before we get to kind of our final bit here. First up, what's the movie that you most want to see this year? Like, absolutely, out of ones you know already. Obviously, there's stuff we run across, but what's the movie you absolutely want to see this year?
All right. Besides like stuff that's out right now,
Yeah,
Lego Batman and Kong and Get Out,
yeah.
nixing those three, I would say that the movie I it's tough, dude. But like I hate to say it, but it's gonna have to be Justice League. Just kidding. Yeah, right. Uh no, it's either Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2
Okay.
or Thor Ragnarok. And I hate to just be on that Marvel dick, but like, man, a buddy comedy movie with Thor and the Hulk and a James Gunn outer space super budget superhero movie, like shit, like that's gold in my eyes.
I can
So
get with that. Like, those are not my top, but those are definitely like to the. I really want to see Thor Ragnarok because I actually really want to know how they're getting Hulk into this movie. We know he's in this
I'm,
movie. I want to know how. That's really what I
uh,
want to know.
my prediction is that like the last time we saw the Hulk, it was in the second Avengers movie, right at the
Yeah,
end, where
yeah.
he was being sent off into space.
Well, no, he
I'm
took the
hoping this is
Quinjet and
just
just
gonna.
left. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the jet is gonna just crash into the middle of a gladiator pit, and he's gonna have to just fight some alien monsters, and it's gonna go from there. And then Thor will show up. Doctor Strange will be like, "Hey, how you doing?" Jeff Goldblum will be like, "Oh, looks like we have some kind of game going here." And then they're gonna put some armor on him, and it's gonna be dope.
Uh, it's like so literally just Planet Hulk crashes into the middle of the Thor movie. I like it. I like
Yes,
it.
yes.
I know with them doing Planet Hulk, I secretly hope that they end up doing World War Hulk as like a future Avengers film because I want it so badly. Oh, you have no idea how much I want that. Um,
I
I
mean, it's
ho-
pretty tough to stay away from the superhero movies this year. I didn't mention it as one I'm really looking forward to, but I am. Spider-Man also,
Spider-Man:
like
Homecoming is this year. Yep. Still mad about that kicking Black Panther back a year, but I'm
I
still
can
mad.
understand that.
You have no idea how much I wanted to see that. Like the idea of the Black Panther movie was good, and then we're like, no, we're gonna get it next year, and it's like, nope, Spider Man. Damn you people.
But like it's something like I can understand you're upset about that, but it's like they're replacing one great thing with another great thing.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
don't you want to see Spider-Man done like so well? Like, you can excuse the Sam Raimi movies because you know those were revolutionary for their time.
Yeah,
Those were like some of the first big superhero movies. But like after Amazing Spider-Man 2, it's like, yo, I need my palette refreshed on the Arachnoid Boy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I need it done the right way. And I would feel
Exactly.
the same way if they found a way to get Fantastic Four back. Uh, I I'm one of those weird people that even though they have screwed up a few times, I kind of want the X Men to stay at Fox because I think it would be overload to try and bring the mutants in at this point.
No, they don't need to do that. That would go against everything Marvel has been setting up.
Yeah,
Like, once this is all said and done and they have all 20 movies out, they're going to be able to say that they were the first series that actually did that and, like, didn't suck, like, throughout a portion of it.
yeah,
Like,
and
when you talk shit
everything was
about the Marvel
connected.
movies, people, like, Thor 2 is the worst one. It's like, who expected a lot from that movie, you know? But, like, if that's the worst they're going to do, like, I think they're have a pretty good track record.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think about how interconnected that is, which oddly is a perfect transition to one of the movies that I'm really looking forward to this year, and that's The Dark Tower. Stephen King's The Dark Tower comes out this year. I'm not sure on the date for it. I want to say it's like later in the year. Um,
Is that one based on a book? What's it about?
it's based on the Dark Tower book series, which is an amazing set of books. If you get a chance, definitely go read them. I don't want to ruin stuff by talking about it too much, but it follows essentially a character through the multiverse of Stephen King books, essentially. But it starts in an old West like landscape, um, with a gunslinger pursuing a man in black, and it goes kind of from there. Uh,
That
the
sounds like Preacher a little bit.
Yeah, Preacher came a little bit after the Dark Tower started. I want to say,
I mean, I'm
but
sure it's different. It's
oh
just
yeah,
on the surface. Like, yeah, I hear Preacher, but I actually just remembered my actual number one movie. I don't know how
oh
it
yeah.
didn't come to mind, dude. The Disaster Artist. I I cannot wait for James Franco as Tommy Wiseau.
I would say
Like,
is that the Tommy Wiseau movie? Okay.
yes, I hear that James Franco has peaked in this movie. Like that, this is hands down the best performance he's ever given. And as an actor myself, Tommy Wiseau is one of like I played him in a couple improv like sketches that I did in college, but
Mhm.
like he is one of my favorite characters to play, and I couldn't imagine how like amazing James Franco is going to be. Like I love that book. It's one of the few books I've read that's getting turned into a movie, and then describing it as what's it called? What's that really great movie with Marky Mark as the porn star?
Oh, Boogie Nights.
Yeah, they compared it to Boogie Nights and some other Wes Anderson movie, and I'm like, oh, so goddamn sold because Boogie Nights is like the movies, in my opinion, the movies that Tarantino wishes he could make. So like, I'm so about that.
All right. Okay. Check it out. And yeah, Dark Tower is July 28th.
Okay.
Uh, so that's gonna
Was
be a
that
great
at
time.
any of the film festivals happening right now or soon?
I'm willing to bet it probably is.
Because the
Uh,
only reason I know something about the Disaster Artist is because it premiered at South by Southwest, so people have been like putting out reviews for it.
I don't know if they went to South by Southwest with it, but it would make sense if they did. It's literally one of those movies like if you've read those books, you're waiting for this because it's think a horror with a western like background to it.
Is Keanu Reeves also going to be in this?
No,
Sounds
no,
like something he would do.
no. This is Idris Elba, Matthew McConaughey,
Okay.
um, Jackie
Okay.
Earle Haley. I know's in it, and I'm trying to think who else I can't really remember anybody else.
He's a good
Um,
weirdo, Jackie Earle Haley. This sounds like it could be kind of scary. And you're saying it's a horror film too, right?
oh yeah, because I mean it's Stephen King. Like basically, um, uh, the main character's trying to get to this point called the end world. There's like a nexus point between all the different, basically the nexus point between all the different Stephen King books, um, and so he's being chased by this kind of sorcerer like guy and some monsters. Like it's legitimately a horror in the books.
Oh,
Uh,
so it's going to be the Goosebumps movie.
uh, More serious, but yeah, like far more
Awesome. I'm
serious. Yeah.
excited.
Yeah. It's one of those things like you start reading the books and you're just like, this is really compelling, and you remember it's like, oh yeah, this is Stephen King. Like I'm getting Stephen King level, like early Stephen King horror with like a very cool, universe mixing sort of thing going. The person directing it is Nikolai Arcel, um, who did. Let's see here. I'm trying to think. I think I only remember him for a Royal Affair. I don't know what else he's directed, but he's gotten a nomination before for Best Foreign Language Film, um, and he's been screenwriter on a few things. But oh, the 2009 Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. He's a screenwriter for that.
The remake or the
No, no, the
original?
original. The original.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the screenwriter for that version.
I never saw the original. I only saw the David Fincher remake.
Yeah. Oh, you got to check out the original, man. That's good.
I was kind of weary to watch it because I liked the remake so much. I thought it was really good.
It's it's a different take on her, but excuse me, it's definitely a good one to check out.
Nope.
But
I'll add it to my giant list of movies I need to see.
but that's not my number one movie to see this year. My number one movie to see this year is Blade Runner 2049.
Really?
I and it's from both a good and a bad place. Like
I'm expecting nothing from that movie.
I'm afraid that it's going to suck,
You
so I
should
want to go
be.
see it. Like I'm afraid it's going to suck, so I'm going to go see it. But the director makes stuff that I love.
That is true. Isn't it the
It's
director of like Sicario?
yes, it's the director from Sicario, and like oh my good, and Arrival. Obviously, he did Arrival as well.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
then that's the perfect guy. Like if they're gonna hand that to someone that balancing act, that's the guy for it.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like I look at this, and I'm like, I'm afraid because even though Ridley Scott's crazy and racist, like he at least it was his material. You know what I mean? Like that's his world. So I expect him to do it better. But the guy's so good. He like when you see Arrival and you get I'm not gonna ruin Arrival for people, but when you get done with Arrival, you go, all right, this guy might just have the right mind for all sci-fi.
That
Like
was one of like the first sci-fi movies in a long time where it ended where it's like I understand, but I have so many questions.
yeah,
Like that, I think that it's a really big idea, Arrival, and it's really difficult to wrap your head around. So I think that that's something that is going to work in his favor for this Blade Runner sequel remake thing.
it's apparently just a sequel because Harrison Ford is older. He's apparently left society. Like the only problem I have is that I'm worried. Here's the thing I'm worried about. This is the same director that did Enemy.
I don't think I saw that one.
Enemy's the one where Jake Gyllenhaal is talking to his twin and ends up with like a fucking giant spider in the movie.
I've heard someone talk about it, but I've
Yeah,
never seen it.
I know you've heard the DT guys talk about it because they like that is a highly divisive film for them. But yeah, like it's like I don't want that in there, but I'm hoping like he gives me another Arrival. I'm hoping he gives me like Arrival meets Sicario, and that's Blade Runner.
Yeah, that's what Blade Runner should be.
Yeah,
It's
and that
I'm
teaser
just
looks
worried
amazing.
that there's going to be too much CG. Like one of the things that makes Blade Runner so good for me is just like how memorable like the whole look of everything is. Like you'll never forget the first time like they showed you that city, and it's raining and he's in front of, like that shitty little neon lit like food stand. Like,
Yeah,
oh man, like it's just like some incredible world building in that movie. And I really hope that like we get to see new parts of it that feel like just like totally natural in this world.
well, and that's the one thing when in the teaser, like I was getting that feel. Like I felt like he was purposely not showing me the rest of the city in the teaser so that I didn't have expectations about how the city looked, and he was showing me a what seems like a new area. Honestly seems like one of the final areas in the original Blade Runner. Um, and so like I was like, okay, maybe that's what the situation is. Maybe that's why things are kind of being done this way in these teasers because it had the feel like it's very practical looking. Like it really looks like Ryan Gosling's walking through this like dust covered area. Like the house it looked like you were really inside someone's house, not on a stage, like on a sound stage. Like so, I'm looking forward to that, but I'm also scared out of my mind because these reboots have not been great.
No, they haven't. And something like this like really needs to stay pure to itself. And I think the director gets that with like the whole look and like you said, it's staying practical. That'll make or break this movie.
Yeah,
Too much overlaying of CG and too many CG landscapes will totally ruin it. Even though we're getting to a really different era in CG where like yes, like it's amazing and mind-blowing, but now like it's getting to a point where you almost can't tell the difference. But I still feel like CG is better used in cases like 300, where it's like it's excessive and it's like it's
yeah,
obvious that it's fake, but it works within the world that they're creating. Something like this needs to look extra real, and it needs to like you need to have like those little tiny minute mistakes, where like someone's elbow will brush like a counter or something, and you can tell it's like, all right, this shit is all real.
Like
Like
that was
that's
a
what.
real counter. Somebody's elbow really did knock that glass off that counter. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Like having all that shit real, especially in something about, like humans building robots, like that'll just push the metaphor like that much further. Like it needs to be real. Like having the robots be like CG would go against like the first one, I feel like. Like
Yeah.
that look would be just too inconsistent.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when they try and do a sequel to what's it called? Like with the Prometheus movies, it's like, why
Oh
is
yeah.
their technology so much better? Like it makes no
Well,
sense. This was
and
in
that's
the
the funny thing.
past.
So this is coming out this year, and I want to say it's coming out towards the end of the year. Yeah, it's coming out in October, and then we're getting Alien Covenant this year as well. So it's like, all right, Ridley's producing both movies. Like, how, which one is going to be the better one? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I Alien Covenant is really all over the place for it. I'm just gonna try and go in and like it, but like it looks like it could just be like a giant video game.
yeah, I'm gonna go laugh because just give me something like this. If this is supposed to be pre-Alien, make it look like it's an Alien movie, but with people having sort of a '60s aesthetic to their clothes and whatnot. Because Alien looks like a bunch of people from the '70s got shipped into space to truck some stuff across the galaxy. Like that looks right. So let's do that here. But
It's almost impossible though to like. I feel like I've never seen Aliens 3 and 4, but I've seen the first two and I've seen Prometheus.
yeah,
I'm okay with Prometheus, but those first two Alien movies, like the second one's just all right to me, but the first one is like that is a perfect movie, and I feel like it's really hard to evolve on the story because like the first one got it so right. So like the one thing that makes me feel some sort of confidence about the movie is that like the characters are really different and I like that. Like I don't know about their personality, but like just the type of character they're sending is really different.
yeah.
So that gives me some sort of hope. But like I don't know, there's just something about it that just looks too much like the first one.
You know what? It goes back to that thing you said earlier. It looks like a bunch of hipsters are going into space. No, seriously. Like, think about the cast for that film. Like, and there are cast members that I actually like in that movie.
Yeah,
But
Danny McBride with the fucking cowboy hat. It's like, what are you doing here?
yeah, it
Like,
looks like a bunch of hipsters are going into space, and I'm just like, yeah, sure, okay. That alien looks like you know the nine people you'll see at a truck stop that are actual truckers that just got shipped into space. This looks like, all right, we're having a study abroad in space, and we're gonna be gone for the semester. You guys can't come. Bye. Like it looks like that just happened. Like, come on, man.
that would have been kind of great if they had like a teacher with them. Like they had the same people, but we had to believe they were students. They
Oh
had
yeah.
like what's it, Jeremy Irons with them? No,
Oh,
class. Like relax.
I love it. I would love it. No, no, you have to get a younger teacher because you can't have old teachers anymore. So it'd have to be Emily Blunt would have to be their teacher. And so you don't call her Miss Frizzle, but like they call her Miss Frizzle to like make fun of her every once in a while.
That would be awesome. Oh my god. See, that would have been cool, but they would have needed. Oh, see that would have been a really nice approach to things if like the what's it called? Instead of like trying to populate a planet, it was just a bunch of students with a teacher.
Yeah,
Like think about that. Like the idea of being stuck on a planet, and then furthermore, the students would be stuck on the ship on this planet because the teacher would be like, "You can't go outside." So it'd
yeah.
be there's so many elements
You
that you
could do
could
it
have
so
with
like
that.
I hate to use a simple horror premise, but you could easily have it to a situation of they landed on the wrong planet. They thought this were going to be on a different one, and so they're just there until a ship from the correct planet for them to be on, shows up. And obviously we're dealing with space travel, so that's going to be a little while. And so they're like, no, don't go outside because we don't know what the planet's makeup is. Oh, we can test it. See, boom, and like robots and machines go out to test it. See, it's got oxygen. We can go outside. And that, of course, begins the Alien movie. And boom, it's a better movie. It's already a better movie. Uh,
Because right now, like all I'm getting from this movie is a lot of like sequelitis that they think is clever. Like, like I don't know. I feel like they think they have like a Dawn of the Planet of the Apes on their hand when it's really not. Like, I feel like that's what they want this to be of this series. Like, just like a really all around nice reboot that they'll be able to make a trilogy out of. But it just depends, like, where on the spectrum they're really going to go. Because I get you ever play Resident Evil 5?
Yeah.
I get Resident Evil 5 vibes from this. Just like something that doesn't know what it wants to be. Just like there's moments of horror, but then like they immediately get beat down by like just crazy, insane action. And then at the end, there's a guy punching a boulder.
They will never live that down to me. Okay. So of course, while we're talking, I'm looking at. I don't know how to say his name. Is it Dennis Villeneuve? Is it Dennis Villeneuve? I don't know how to say his name, but
I don't even know who that is.
the director for Blade Runner.
Okay.
So I was looking at the other project he has coming up soon, and this is something to get hype about. He's making a new Dune movie.
A new Dune movie.
Yeah.
That's like impossible to do, but that's okay.
Well,
I don't know. Have you ever
they're
seen
saying
Darren Aronofsky's Dune?
Yeah.
Or whatever that Jared or whatever his name is. Jaredowski's Dune.
Yeah, the
That
one
documentary?
The crazy documentary of the basically super French version of Dune. Yeah,
He wanted to make a 12-hour acid trip.
basically. Yeah,
He like the way he described that, like I mean, it's funny because the book at the end of the movie, spoiler, I guess, for Jaredowski's Dune, the documentary, like at the end they like basically say that like his like screenplay or whatever, like his shots that he drew out inspired like Indiana Jones, Star Wars, like Battlestar Galactica, like all these huge franchises, like just were dawned from Dune. So I feel like it's almost a blessing that the movie wasn't made the way it was supposed to be, because like I feel like them making that now is just going to turn out to be like all those other things. Like people will be like, like I've seen this and this, and I've seen that and this. So like it's not going to be that special, I don't think, anymore.
apparently Dennis has said that he wants to use some of those designs for his Dune. So we probably won't get it in full, but we could get his vision sort of with some modifications from that. So that could be interesting. I'd be down for that. If he's doing Dune after Blade Runner, this might be our new super director for sci-fi.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone can do it, it's this guy, I guess. I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head who I think could do this, who's still alive at least. Because like I feel
think
like
Lynch could have done it.
Dune is a very unconventional film, I think.
I think Lynch's problem was that he was doing it with you know, clearly inferior CGI and just general technology. So like
And I feel like that was almost just a job for him. Like I feel like that's like the equivalent of like David Fincher doing, Alien 3. Like there was an open seat in the chair and they're like, "You want to sit here?" He's like, "Yes."
it was like, hey, if you do this, we'll let you do other movies. Yeah, let's go this. Let's go.
Exactly.
But yeah, like those are my two movies, man. I mean, obviously, I want to see Star Wars. I want to see, Guardians of the
Oh
Galaxy.
yeah, Star Wars coming out.
But like those two movies are just like, yo, I gotta see this. Like I have got to be there. If I can get there early and see it before other people see it, I will do that. If there is a screening in Chicago for this movie, and I can see either of these movies before other people, like these are the two movies.
There definitely is, and just to let you know, and anyone else listening, it used to be better for me in the area I'm in, but there's this website called GoFobo, GoFobo.com, and you can sign up for free screenings. I used to go to them all the time when they were more popular in this area, but they are around in like Chicago, LA, and big cities like that. And you just like got to go on there frequently. And like as soon as those tickets become available, you can get up to 2 and they're free. You just got to get there like a half hour early, get a decent seat.
See, that's always nice.
It's free.
That's so awesome. Yeah. No, and that's the thing, man. Like, those are my movies, man. Those are what I want to see, kind of thing,
For sure, yeah. I'm trying to think of any other movies, but yeah, the one that I'm really pumped for is just The Disaster Artist. I don't know
That
if I'm
that
missing
seems like
something
that's gonna be
else.
a really great thing to watch. Like I kind of want to see that too now.
That movie to me, I hope that it just takes the world by storm because like
Because
The
isn't his
Room is
brother in the movie too?
yeah, his
Isn't
brother is playing Greg Sestero, which is Tommy Wiseau's best friend.
it's gonna be great. Uh, I want to see that for now. The same reason I want to see King Arthur: Legend of the Sword, because
That
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 looks like
looks
it's gonna
like
be
some
so bad.
hot shit. That looks like a hot mess.
That looks
Isn't
like
that from that? Which director's doing that? The
Guy
guy who did
Ritchie.
Sherlock?
Oh wait,
Yeah, Guy Ritchie. Yeah, it's Guy
yeah, it's
Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie. Oh my god, you know it's gonna have like pop music everywhere and like insane amounts of cuts for just one scene. When you watch the trailer, we had my business partner at 314, Chris Hines. We had him in our conversation. We watched the two trailers for King Arthur. It's like, all right, first I'm gonna show you the first one, which is normal. it's it's the Comic Con trailer, and so it's like, here's the Comic Con trailer. See how normal looking this is? This is what everybody saw, and then I showed him the like newest trailer for it, which is the one that they did on DT and like that I've seen in other outlets and whatnot where everybody's reacting to, and it's like that scene of him pulling the sword out is like intercut with 19 different scenes that they just splice in and just has blaring music over the top of it, and you're just like, yeah, this is Guy Ritchie. Like the first one looks like the studio made it. The second one looks like, no, I want this. I want this now. Like, okay, calm down. We'll do it. It's fine. We'll do it. It sucks, but we'll do it.
That is something that speaks volumes about this generation of film that studios are producing. It's just like, yeah, let's throw lots of money and put dubstep behind it and slow mo.
There's so much slow mo, and it's that old school like we're gonna do slow mo into really fast, slow mo into really fast again. It's like, oh god, what have I done? What have I done?
Zack Snyder can be blamed for the downfall of cinema.
Oh man, which is sad because I know people don't, but I actually really like the extended cut of his Watchmen movie. Um,
I like Watchmen. Watchmen is, to me, that's before he shit the bed.
yeah, it's like I
Like,
love
once he
Michael
made
Bay's
Sucker
Bad Boys
Punch,
movies.
it was over.
You know,
Yeah,
same.
but like to me, man, the best movie that Michael Bay has made, Pain and Gain.
Pain and Gain's
I
really good. Yeah.
love that movie so much. Like that was when I first saw The Rock and like he blew me away. Even Marky Mark and the other guy in it, Anthony Mackie, right?
Yeah, Anthony Mackie.
Like all three of them are fucking amazing in that movie. I love that movie.
Oh man, no, it's weird. If I would give Michael Bay so much of a break if he would do more of that. But the thing is, there's so much money for him doing all these other movies.
I
Like,
mean,
oh shit, we forgot War for the Planet of the Apes is coming out this year,
oh yeah, I'm definitely excited for
where
that.
Woody
I
Harrelson gets to be absolutely crazy again.
mean, yeah.
When he
He
was
looks
shaving his head, I was
nuts.
like, this is Natural Born Killers all over again. He said, I did True Detective. Now I'm going all the way back. Check out the flashback. Let's go. Oh man.
Yeah,
Oh,
that definitely has the potential to be pretty great. I'm hoping that it'll cap off this series and not leave it too open. Like I'm hoping that they'll just end the series there and maybe do some sort of spin-off that way that this can be its own thing.
well,
Because I
it's
love the
gotta
first
stop
two.
at some point, right? Like it's in their minds. Like
I
they've
mean,
got to
yeah,
stop at some point.
when the monkeys, are just driving around in cars and like just like, oh hey Martha, like going to their jobs and stuff, like you can't really just keep going on unless like, like one of the monkeys is gonna have like a midlife crisis.
But I
Which is
mean,
something I guess I'd kind of like to see.
Caesar makes those movies, though. You know what I mean? Like without
Oh
Caesar, I
yeah,
don't know if they can keep doing these things. And he's got to die at some point. Monkeys don't live that long.
it's
Um,
true.
unless that's the whole thing. Like now the monkeys live longer because they're smarter, kind of thing. That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think what else is good that's coming out this year. Enough to talk about. Oh, Valerian and the City of a Thousand Worlds looks like it's either going to be
I don't know what
absolutely
that is.
another sci-fi. It's. I thought originally it was by the Wachowskis, and it's not. Um, it's hardcore sci-fi. A bunch of It's got Dane DeHaan and what's the woman with the really thick eyebrows that everybody talks about that I don't think can act. Oh God,
I
what is her
don't
name?
know.
The one that did Enchantress in Suicide Squad. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I don't know. She's a horrible archaeologist. That's all I know about her.
But yeah, the two of them are in the movie, and it's like they're going throughout the universe and whatnot. But there's that one, and then of course Dunkirk from Christopher
Oh
Nolan.
yeah. Someone told me that that's gonna be rated PG-13, and that kind of worried them. But like, I don't think that's gonna affect that movie that much at all.
I say PG-13 with Christopher Nolan isn't the same as with everybody else.
It's true. He really knows how to use that and push that rating.
Yeah, I mean, look. I mean, I hate to go back to this, but look at the Dark Knight, man. Like he pushed that to its like absolute limits. So I'm sure this is probably only PG-13 to make sure that he can get the widest possible release for it.
Yeah. And he's been consistent with like his PG-13s. Like there's that, there's Inception,
Yep,
like there and what was the one about outer space he made?
Interstellar.
Interstellar. Like that's it's arguable the quality of that movie, but I still say it's more good than bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not anti-Interstellar. I actually kind of like it. Um, Inception's still my favorite, but you know, that's
There's also coming out this year, there's that Black Mirror movie basically, The Circle. Just looks like an
oh
episode
yeah,
of Black Mirror. Like that looks pretty good.
yeah. Talk
Could
about
go either
series people
way.
need to watch. People, go watch Black Mirror. All of it. Watch it all. There'll be more episodes this year. Go watch it.
Really? When?
It'll probably be towards like
Right,
September, October again.
October. God, I cannot wait. I was so late to getting on that train, but oh my God, I could not believe what I had been missing out on. That is, right now, I'd say that that's my favorite show. It's up there for me with Breaking Bad.
See, I Narcos, The Get Down, and Black Mirror are kind of my three that like I'm just extremely into. I constantly look for more news. I want to know, what's coming. Like so, when I saw my favorite of so far Black Mirror, San Junipero, um, I was just like, all right, I got to get other people watching the show so I can have people to talk to. My other series that I'm like that with is Insecure on HBO, which is just amazing. But that's the thing, man. Like we've got good stuff coming this year. That's I'm looking at the circle here. Yeah, yeah, this is
Definitely Black Mirror stuff.
this
Like
definitely
that, it just
sounds like it.
like I remember watching the trailer like before like Logan or something, and I was just like, yeah, Black Mirror the movie right here. Like I can already see the twists and turns it's gonna make, but like that's the thing about Black Mirror. Like you have an idea of where every episode's gonna go, but it's like actually watching them do that. It's fascinating because they always have like this very realistic approach to it.
Man, they're always grounded in something that you can really hold on to as an audience member, and then they just take you on this beautiful ride. And yeah, I love it. Apparently, it's gonna have the Circle is having its premiere at Tribeca on April 26th, and then it's gonna get released on April 28th.
I'm hype. I might go see that one in theaters. I'm just so curious.
Yeah, I'm looking at this cast. Oh man, Bill Paxton is in this.
Really? Oh, yeah, he's in that. That's right. Yeah, I remember seeing
Uh,
him and being like, "Oh, look, it's him."
and Patton Oswalt, Karen Gillian, John Boyega, Tom Hanks, and Emma Watson.
Yeah, it's a pretty star-studded cast.
Yeah, we'll leave Emma Watson alone. I have already spoken on the Emma Watson issues. I will leave that alone for today. Uh, but we've been going for almost an hour here, so we're gonna wrap up here with Julian and get on out of here. Let him get back to what he's doing for the day. But folks, of course, stay with us. Right after our commercial, we'll be right back with Give No Quarter. Dude, it's been great to have you on again, man. I just wanted to. I didn't even want to like do anything too big. I just wanted to be able to hang out, have a conversation about stuff I knew like was in your wheelhouse, and you have not disappointed in the slightest, brother. So, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, man. This was a lot of fun as always.
Absolutely. Well, folks, I am the Ruthless Wonder, and you are watching slash listening to the Wrath of Ruthless, and we will see you on the other side in just a moment.
Give no quarter. Give no quarter. Give no quarter. Give no quarter.
Welcome back, folks. We are back on the Wrath of Ruthless. I am the Ruthless Wonder, not a Ruthless Wonder. And of course, you guys have listened to our discussion there with Julien during our regular show episode. Really cool movies coming out. Looking forward to hopefully getting him back on here sometime soon. You might notice I'm talking a bit faster than usual. That's because we've got stuff to get to. And I'm hyped right now. Well, hype is probably the wrong word. I am pissed off right now. And of course, you know that means it's time for Give No Quarter. So, there are a couple things I want to cover today in a brief Give No Quarter to round up the show for the day. All right, so let's get to it. We may have gotten off on the wrong foot here. You seem to think that because I am anti Debbie Wasserman Schultz and am not a fan of the concept of democracy because people are stupid, that I somehow am a Republican supporter. Certainly, good friends with some Republicans. Shout out to K.A. Walker, who has been on with us numerous times and will be on many times to come. But that's not my issue. In fact, I would say that the Trump end of the Republican Party has become a fascist approach to governance, which is not something I'm with. No. Um, it would better be said that I am against the idea of democracy because literally people make bad decisions when they have too much access to the power to make decisions. When too many people are making the process doesn't get done. You still need a process, though. You still need people in a position to affect change, which is why, as I've discussed before, you need a system that is a much more, I won't say feudalist because that implies right by birth of rule, but a much different approach to governance that is much more streamlined and akin to a much more powerful centralized figure. But before we get there, I want to talk about the current president and the idiots on the other side. Trump, of course, has had his healthcare plan defeated. Same with the repealing of Obamacare, which is good news. That's good news for everybody. But how do I put this? I don't believe that by doing these things have gotten better. In fact, I think they're going to get a lot worse a lot faster. There is some pushback internally that we've seen here in news and other fashions inside the Republican Party that is pushing back against Trump's overreaches. They worry about their abilities to get reelected. And, fortunately but unfortunately, that is a good thing. Because of the way our system works, it is very beneficial to have and desire more donations, more support, things of that nature from larger groups when you're running for office, because it means that oftentimes if someone is too divergent from your thought process, you're going to oppose them. I liken this to the idea that, the radicals in any group are going to be opposed by the moderates in any group. The problem, of course, is that money is making the influence here. Republican donors, in many cases, just are not willing to be on board for some of the, I'll just call it fuckery, that this White House is wanting to do. In fact, one of the biggest things that I have noticed personally is that there seems to be a very large groundswell of non-Fox and Breitbart employed conservatives who are lashing out against uh, Trump somewhat more and more openly. And that's a positive thing. We may, in fact, see the press restored to the place it needs to be and used to be here in our lifetime. But that unfortunate thing does not guarantee the right to changes by the Democrats. I was speaking to a good friend uh, about what he was doing in the upcoming uh, hold on in some upcoming events and some of his more politically minded actions, and he was explaining that he was actually very distraught about where things could be going. Um, I would say he's probably extremely afraid of uh, this lack of change by the Democratic Party causing a splinter big enough to destroy it. Uh, and it's interesting to hear him talk like that. You see, the Democrats are in a very tough position. They have people like W. Wasserman Schultz who almost refuse to restructure the party in order to keep themselves in power, but not get across the uh, change that voters who normally would vote Democrat want. Secular talk, who I listen to fairly often over YouTube, Dan Packman, the Young Turks, and a few other groups, who is really who I go to when I want to, get some good, not necessarily liberal, but get some good objective analysis of Democrats. We're talking about how W. Washington Schultz had gone on MSNBC with Great Events Ustrin and said that the Democrats are already a party of grassroots. But you as a listener and me as, of course, the guy who runs this podcast, know that's not the case. It isn't about, people disliking Hillary Clinton, though I certainly think that the more attached you are to Clinton-esque politics as a Democrat, the worse you're going to do. We've already seen a number of people signing up to run on the Justice Democrats ticket. If Pornhub keeps going the way they're going with all these things to benefit society, I suspect a Pornhub party by the end of these next 4 years. But more seriously, the idea, the notion that we could end up in a Trump re-election because the Democrats refuse to re-examine what they're doing is a very real possibility. But people are angry. So what do? Well, they go to the people that they think are going to help them. And for Republicans, they're just not coming to Democrats. It would take a Herculean effort at this point to get them out of it. Maybe if you see this turnover that I think Justice Democrats is trying to do, yes. But when the top still looks like it does, it just isn't going to work. We can see that with the new DNC chair, who, Keith Ellison should have been the DNC chair. Let's just be real about it. I have no problems with other people running the DNC, but philosophically, he's the one that should have been in charge. Because his mindset was, we need to correct what we've been doing to really get things going. And that's what you need. It's not about progressive versus, moderate. It's not about, uh, you know, conservative Democrats versus liberal Democrats. It's about fire. Your DNC chair should be looking to do everything possible to get more people on board, to get more people interested, to get more people going for the cause. I'm reminded of how numerous Republicans were very anti-Trump uh, as they were dropping out of the presidential race. Some of them have stayed that way. Carly Fiorina being one of those. Um, I don't necessarily like her politics, but that she's kind of stood up to this position, I enjoy. Um, Rand Paul has been the same way. I think a very interesting thing would have happened if Rand Paul had been the nominee for the Republicans as opposed to Donald Trump. But I can't discount why Trump is president. And it's because when you put someone like him, a personality, against someone who is a known quantity, and that known quantity doubles down on the things that people already don't like, you lose. So while I am still a Justice Democrat supporter, today his Give No Quarter does find me saying something very odd. It finds me saying something very interesting. And it finds me saying something that is controversial compared to the other comments I have made on politics. I think it would be best for all of us if there was something on the other side of Wolfpack. Folks who know, Wolfpack is a political action committee based on the idea of getting a constitutional convention to remove money from politics, essentially making all political campaigns, especially those at the national level, contribution free, essentially, making them all publicly funded elections. A system more akin to the elections in European democracies. Not the same, obviously, but more akin to those, by removing a lot of the money-based uh, ability to get in things. For instance, you can no longer pay for your ads to be on television, outweighing the ads of of the other party. Things like that. You would get rid of a lot of the things that you deal with now. Now, what does that mean in the modern era? That means that, you know, online campaigning through social media would become more prevalent. That means that candidates actually appearing in cities and states and talking to the people and you getting to find out who they really are. More debates would be necessary. More chances to really see what the policies of these people are about. And that's laudable. That's something I like. But it strikes me that the free publicity gotten by just covering the outlandishness of Donald Trump is really what got him in office. It strikes me that going into an election here in Missouri on April 2nd, that I haven't really heard much from those people who are running for offices that are up on the 2nd. I had to go find them, and that's because mostly this is not the time where you have the money to do a lot of advertising. So, what I'm advocating actually is a different political action committee. What I'm advocating openly here now is controversial. I would say in the era of Trump it may be even dangerous. But I'll say it anyway. I'm advocating a political action committee that investigates the political action committees. You know, for you comic fans, I'm advocating somebody who watches The Watchmen. Look, we are in a situation and state in this country where it's very difficult to get rid of fake news because everybody's got a satire website that somehow accidentally gets taken seriously. What I'm advocating is for us to work together. And I'm gonna, reach out for people to help make this dream reality. Possibly after I've moved, might be the earliest you see anything from us on that subject. But I'm advocating we start showing the lies, showing the deceit, and that until groups like Wolfpack fix the system, that we spend money fighting against the system from the inside. Look, I hope you sign up with Justice Democrats. I hope you choose to say no more money in your politics. I hope you choose to pick progressive candidates. I hope you get involved in Wolfpack and try and get money out of politics. I hope you make those decisions. But I also think that until that day comes, we need to also be infiltrating. I've always lived a life that has been inside traditional groups, socially traditional groups, because I found that influence does a lot of work that resistance can't do. Sometimes you got to be on the inside. So I say, let's take this money. Let's go out and start picking candidates. Let's go out and start attacking candidates on both sides. I'm not saying this is a pack for Democrats. Far from it. I'm not saying this is a pack for Republicans. Far from it. I'm saying this is a pack for everyone who wants to see the real person behind the curtain. We have gotten okey-doked at every turn by the man behind the curtain gallivanting as the Wizard of Oz. And while yes, it's good to have the Glinda the Good Witch of the North with us, it's time to be fucking Toto. Yeah, I made a Wizard of Oz reference. Think about it. That whole movie falls apart. This veneer falls apart because Toto gets bored and grabs the curtain and pulls it away. Let's do the same thing. I don't have a name for it yet. I don't even have a lot of other people for it yet. I got some people who are interested in helping and do the work, but I don't have people who are interested in giving up their cash just yet. So we're going to start working on that. And like I said, you might not hear from us until much later in the year. I could have moved to Chicago by then. Love you, Kansas City, but I'm out of here. I could have done a lot of things between now and then. But I feel like that needs to be our focus. I feel like in this 24/7 eternal campaign season, we need a group that says, okay, say what you want to say, but we're going to investigate and we're going to find more and we're going to see who you really are. We don't have an affiliation. We aren't in one camp or another. We're after everyone. It's gotten internet famous at this point to say some men just want to watch the world burn. Yeah. Because in the ashes of this world, we could build another. A better world. Imagine if the politicians were afraid that when they said something, when they took money from someone, that the people would find out who that is and what their agenda is. Listen, you think Black Lives Matter? Put your money and your time where your mouth is. Help me find the candidates who are secretly anti-Black Lives Matter and are pimping out the black community for their vote. You hate special interest groups? Let me find them all. Help me find all of them. Let's go after them. Together. You think your Republican leadership is kowtowing to a tyrant, as I've heard a few of you say? Come with me. Let's see where it goes. Even if you think there are fake Christians that are really pretending just to keep the religious right under their thumb, let's find them. Let's find them together. Now I want to get out of here on some more stuff real quick. Like I said, we had a really long show session, so this Give No Quarter is pretty short. But I found something the other day that really impressed me, and not in a good way. There are a number of laws currently on the books that seem to intimate that there's a lot of help out there for small businesses, communities of color specifically, but that there are a lot of disadvantaged programs out there that will not meet Trump's cutting room floor. And despite them not meeting his cutting room floor, they're not being taken advantage of, and they haven't been taken advantage of, even under Obama. And it hit me that the reason they're not being taken advantage of is because people don't know about them. So what we're going to do on this show and others, wherever I appear, I'll try and talk about them as well. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about them, kind of bring them to light for you guys. Because knowledge is power. But also because I think if more people knew about these, they'd be used more often, and we get the benefits of them. It's not like that crazy guy that used to be like, had the books out to sell you with all the free government money. But we're going to just highlight and showcase some things, because I know some friends who are grant writers, and I'm sure they're really good at getting these stuff. So I'm going to try and get one of them on, and they're going to talk a little bit about grants with us on Give No Quarter. And I want to get you guys more active in these things, because I want you guys to get advantage of this stuff. We're also going to be doing some things with Words Unto It Justice, and all of our family of sites. Like I said, between being ill, moving, and all this other stuff, I've kind of been under the radar as of late. Thank you to everybody that's watching the MCW videos. But we've kind of been off it a little bit as we kind of revamp stuff and get used to this new format. But I'll tell you, I ain't done. In fact, we're only going to be getting stronger. So, that's it for now on Give No Quarter. I'm out of here. Thank you guys for watching, listening to The Wrath of Ruthless. SoundCloud folks, I will be getting all the episodes uploaded. Just takes a while to, when I have a free time to reconvert things and get back to work on it. But I promise I'll get it taken care of. So for everybody here at 314, I am The Ruthless Wonder, not A Ruthless Wonder. You've been listening to The Wrath of Ruthless. And I will see you next time with an extremely controversial episode. Well, possibly. I may say that even later. Who knows? Words don't do it justice. Bye-bye.